So we are just continue understanding the concept of encapsulation. So we discussed the example of laptop. In the laptop, we are able to see just the screen and the laptop keypad, we can say, and some outer body part. Okay, but the internal property is only, we can say, hidden. We cannot access the internal property. We can access only the public layer. And the same with in the case of, like, we can took another example of just like an ATM machine. In the ATM machine, what you can do, you can just enter your amount from the keypad. You can just enter the amount, and like there would be a screen, and there would, you can just take the cash only. How internally is working, how much cash this holds, all these informations are private for the ATM. You will give an input, you will set some value, and you will get the output. Right? There are lots of examples. Just say example of calculator. So you will see 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. But the internal mechanism is defined inside how that is calculating and what are the properties. We are just giving some values and returning some output. Got it? So this is how this encapsulation works in programming. Okay. So let us say I have defined a company class. So company have some name, just like IBM and all. Public string name. Okay. Let us say public have some name. Now public may have some shares. Public string. Let us say share price. So always, like, of course, company cannot do like they share publics. So the company will define this like private, so that outside class cannot access this, just for the security purpose. Correct? Okay. Company have some more properties, just like public. So share price would be in integer, let us say. Okay. Let us say headquarters. So it's in public, whether it's in India or wherever. Now I have man method public static void man. Okay. Let me set it to the preference. Let's startup object. I did it. Yeah. So now if I need to access all these variables of the class, because all these are non-static, for that I need to create an object of this class company. Let us say C is equal to new company, right? By, so can I use this, just like, let us say I want to give name company dot name. Just say, can I call this directly? Yes, I can do that. Let us say I have given some name. Let us say mm, Tata. This is a good company. Okay. Can I access, by using the object reference, can I access the share information? Yes, over here I can do that. Got it? Over here I can do that. Let me say it's 100 is my share price, because this we can access these public and private both inside the same class. This is also the part of my company class. But for an example, if I have a separate class, and that class I need to access these, then I will not be able to access. Okay. For an example, this is my company class. Let me create one more class. Let me create one more class, and let us say employee class. Every company has some employees, so employees cannot have all the information of the companies. Okay. Let me create one more method, a man method over here. public static void main. Okay, you have created a main method over here. Now you need to access those values. So just like the properties of company classes, then what you need to do? You need to create the object of the company class over here and can access those values. Let's create employee. Okay, so we don't need to create the object of the employee class, but in fact the company class, correct? Because I need to call these properties of the company class, so I would be needed the object of the company classes. Let us say c2 is equal to new company, and now if I need to call the name, can I do that? Yes, because the name is public. But can I let us say this is saying not null over here, so I need to assign some values. Let us say yes, I can call this, and my company name is, let us say, Microsoft. Okay, if I need to call the headquarters, okay, can I call that? Yes, I can call that. Let us say Pune. Yeah, but can I access the share price of my company, of the class? No, I cannot do that. Why? Because this share price over here, we have defined this as an private. That's why from another class, employee is my separate class. From another class, I cannot access the private properties of that class. Got it? So we can only call the public properties, public variables and public methods, but we cannot call the private methods. Got it? So this is not allowed. Now, how to access this? How to come out of this situation? Like if you need to define some share values and you need to access them. So let us say, so for that we can use the concept of, like we can say, we can set us. Let me explain you that. If you need to get price, let's say company have one method as well, public, let us say int, mm, you need to get share price. So how you will able to get access these share prices? You have a method called get share price. Okay, this will return the share price. Let you can call this property, can be called inside this, yes, directly, because this is a part of same object. Return share price. Share price is my the type of share price is integer, then this is an integer. Okay, you got it? Like you have created a method, this is a public method, correct? So can you call this public method outside of the class? Yes, you can call that, because this is not in private. Internally, what this particular get share method is returning, this is returning the share price, and share price is in private property. So this is how you can get or you can return the private values. Okay, let me show you. So let us say if you need to call c2 dot get share price, can you call this method? Yes, you can call this. So internally, what is this particular method is returning? This is returning the private share price value, right? So this is using get share price. You have defined a custom method, and using that you can access all these private properties as well. Okay, let's print this. So what you gonna get? Will you get any kind of values? No, you will get the default values, right? Because what is the value of share price? No, we haven't set any values. That's why we will get the default values. Let's save it. Okay, let me change the preferences. Let us say, uh, where is the object? Here is the object, and let us say employee. If I'll execute employee, so this should return the default value of share price, the default value of integer, right? Let's execute it from here. The what output you can expect is, let it be executed, 0, because the default value of integer is 0. That's why you are getting 0. So over here, you just have get the values of share prices, right? You just get the values. You haven't set the values. So in C sharp programming, this concept is called getters. We'll use this in real time as well. Okay, this is known as getter, getter. We are getting the value of private variables, private properties. So this is called getters. Now, if you also want, the outer user also want to set some values over here. Okay, he also want to set some values over here. Then what to do? For that, we will understand the concept of setter. Let us say setter. What is setter? Setter is used to set the values. How to set the values? Let us say public void set. Let us say set share price. Okay. Now, inside this set share price, we need to define some values. Let us say integer share price. Okay, and we need to give some values, just like now we will assign from outside, from the different class. We will send some values. We'll send some share price values, and these share price value would be assigned to this share price value, right? Let me write it like share price is equal to share price, right? What is happening over here? I'll call this method from outside. Okay, from here, just like I have get the values. Before getting the values, I will, let us say, C2 dot set price value. Let us say my share price is, I need to provide some integer kind of values. Okay, from here I'll set the values. For which variable I'm setting the values? I'm setting the values to a private variable. Always remember, right? Because I cannot directly call the private variable. That's why I'm setting the value of that private variable. And here I'm getting the same value that I have set over here, right? So directly I'm not able to access the private properties, but by using the getters and setters, I can assign the value to that and get the values. So this entire concept is called encapsulation. We have encapsulated few things, and by using the getters and setters, we are basically we are providing an extra layer of security. Okay, I'll give you some another example as well where you will understand it correctly. So C2 dot set share prices. Here I'll set 1000 over here. So this 1000 will come over here. This is my set share price, and this value will be set to above. So now this is a warning. This is saying assignment made the same variable. Did you mean to assign something else? So this is saying these all, both of these are local variables. This C sharp saying this set share price in this share price are same. Okay, this is different. C sharp code is saying that either you change this name, okay, take the variable name something different, or do some other operation, because we are saying that just assign share prices to share prices. These are the same variables. So either there are two methods to resolve this warning. Either I need to change my variable name. Let us say I'll say price, PRICE price, and here also I assign price. Now I'm getting an error over here. What is the error? So this is saying it doesn't exist in the current context. So there is a keyword. I need to check whether that available in C sharp or not. Yeah, this dot set share price. Okay, cannot assign because it's a method group. Not this is my share price, not set share price. Right. So here what we are doing, let us me again explain you that we have share price. Okay, we were having some values. Okay, so the problem over here was this is also my local variable, the same name over here. This is the program is not identifying whether the share price is this one or the class variable. It's not getting identified. That's why it's showing the warning. So there is two solution of this. Either we can change this variable local variable name, let us say price, and price over here. So now it's clear. Like we can say this is my local variable and this is my class variable. Now it's able to identify. But like we may have multiple methods. Okay, we need to provide, we can have multiple parameters. We need to provide multiple arguments. So it would be confusing at the time of passing the values, like which price I need to provide, is share price or may have some other prices as well. So always try to do in this way. Oh, this is there is an this keyword. Okay, by using this keyword, this will put dot and this keyword will return the current object members. Okay, always remember, we'll also understand going forward, we'll also understand that some other functionalities of this keyword, but right now just remember this will return the current class object. Okay, so this will return the current class object. Then I'll put dot over here. After the object, I can call all the non-static property variables and methods. If I need to call some other methods of this class, then I can do that. Okay, this dot share price. Now this is my local variable. Okay, local variable come over here, and the same value has been assigned to my class variable. This dot, as soon as I'll put this dot, then all the class variable would be reflected over here. Okay, so I have assigned this my share price value to this share price, and similarly I'll get the output. Now if I need if I want to execute this particular thing and see the output, let us see that works or not. What should I get? I should get 1000 as an output. Okay, I get the correct output. How did I get that? It's very simple. First we have created setters, and then we are creating and getters. Setters internally set this value to my private variable, and here I'll return that private variable values and I'll get that values. So also, like internally we can do some operations, some we can write some logic to add values to calculate some kind of interest and all, but like my internal layer is always hidden. Okay, this is my public layer. As I told, give you an example of that ATM machine. So in ATM I can say only public layer is visible. I can enter the amount and only can get the amount, the value that I have entered. Similarly, over here I can just enter the value. There would be some like operations inside that by using the private property, and okay, I'll get that values. So this is like as simple as. Okay, let's understand the same concept using let us say another example, another practical example that we use, that most of the e-commerce site have using. Let us say we have create a separate class. Let's say login is, I would say. Okay, so all the applications, they have their private functionality of login. They cannot expose it, otherwise everyone can hack that their site. Okay, we can whatever, just like you need to sign in into the Flipkart or Amazon. In the Flipkart, what you need to just provide, you just giving your username and password. Internally that is getting authenticated, and that will verify whether your username and password are correct or not. Okay, so all these variables are defined private inside. You can just enter the value and get the response. You cannot understand the internal mechanism, how that is identifying whether it's correct or not, like how much user, how many orders this user has been made. So these are kind of values. So let us say I have private string, let us say username. Okay, so try to, in it's a good practice to like start with, this is called kind of snake bar, you can say. Later on we can discuss this. Let us say private username and private password. Okay, there are two properties over here. So now if you need to access these, how many getters and setters you need to create? If you need to set the values of username, and if you need to get the value of username, how many get and setters you need to create? Four. Obviously four. Why? Because over here we were having a share price variable. We created one getter and one setter. This is like one getter and one setter. Similarly, over here we need to create one getter and setter for username and one getter and setter for password. So we need to create two sets of getters and setters basically, right? So how much the time is? Already we are getting late. Tomorrow I'll explain you the concept of properties. This is nothing but getters and setters properties. So you can create it manually, but tomorrow let us say you have so many private variables, so it would be hard to define each and every, like every time it would be hard to create get and set methods for each and every property. So there are some shortcuts as well to define some properties. Let us say you, if you press Control R and Control E, then you will able to uh, let me, yeah, there is a shortcut, I'll explain you this, don't worry about that. So this is kind of my properties. Okay, this is similar, the same get and set method over here, but written in some programmatical way. Let me explain you. If I'll break this, then this is written like this. Okay, okay, let me remove this, I'll explain you this later, otherwise you'll get confused. Simply just create getters and setters. So for username, if you need to create, first you need to set the values, then only you will be able to get the values. So let us say public, let us say set username. Okay, so set properties or setter will always be void. Okay, because you don't want any kind of output from here. So what you need to provide, just a string value. Let us say string username, right? You just need to set an username. So what you have got the username, where will you assign this? To this username. Okay, so how to call this? Call this dot username is equal to username, right? So this username value will assign to the username and you will get the output. Similarly, if you need to create, this is then set username. Hmm. US here. Now you need to get the username. So what kind of values you are going to get? You kind of get a string kind of values. Let us say get username. We are understanding some advanced concepts of encapsulations. Okay, let us say we have, mm, here we just need to get it, we don't need to provide any argument over here. So let us say just return the username, right? From here we will provide the value of the username, and then we will, like, we'll return the username, we'll get the actual values. Okay, now just like you did for the username, same thing you just need to do for the password itself. First set password. Okay. Yeah. First you need to set the passwords and then get the passwords. Okay. Here would be my, we will pass the password from different class, and this password would be assigned to the class password. Okay. Okay. We'll check like why this is error. We'll look into this. Maybe some spelling mistake. Yeah. Okay. And now here we will return password. Simply the return. Got it? So this is my getters and setter for username, and this getters and set for password. First we will set the value, then simply we will get the value. I cannot access from the separate class. I cannot access the username and password directly because these are private. So if I need to access these private properties, then I have took the help of getters and setters. Okay. So practically like here we can do some operations as well. We verify some token, verify some authentications. Okay. Yeah. If I need to access this, let us say I need to log in into the Flipkart. This, let me create a class. Let us say Flipkart test. Okay. I need to access those things from here. So for that I need to create public static void man. I created a man method. Now if I need to access login class properties, okay. So I need to create the object of the login page, right? Let us say login page lp is equal to new login page, correct? Can I call like lp dot username? I cannot call that. Although I can call the getters and setters method that we have created, but the properties I cannot call directly because they are private in nature. Okay, cannot call like that. So let me first set the username. Set the username. If you want to log in or like sign up inside the Flipkart, let me say admin at the rate gmail.com. I have set these values lp dot, let us say get not get username methods would be there. Here is the get username, or just like you can set the password over here, right? So the password is, for an example, anything like admin 123. This is my password. So what I just need to do, I simply provide from the application. Let's assume we have Flipkart. Okay, we have Flipkart over here. So we have different fields just like username and password. Let us say this is my username, and this the below one is my password field. Okay. So we what we will do over here, we will simply enter the username and the password, and internally they will come to the login page. Just like for an example, this Flipkart application have login page that is inbuilt, we cannot see that page. So that will come inside this. Our username and password will get authenticated whether they are right or not, although we are not able to see like how they are getting authenticated and everything. Or as soon as they will match our username and password are correct, then simply we will be navigated to the dashboard. Then the dashboard page will get displayed over here, right? Or home page we can say. So from sign up page to the dashboard page we are landing with the correct username password. So although username and password, these variables are defined private inside, but by using getters and setters, the developers have defined the username as getters and password also as like getters. so that they can get the output. We can set the output into that, and further, like inside they will get the response and see the output. Okay, now all my login will get successful. Let us say LP. For an example, I have some login method also inside this. Just like I have set get values. For an example, I have some login method as well over here. Public void. Let us say login. Okay. To log in into the application, I would be needed, let us say, string, the same username and password. Okay. And we would be naming password. You can give any name over here. Okay. So to log in into the application, you need to do that, and let's print one statement. Let us say login with, let me say this is my username and here is my, let's give some space, and password. We have created one more method over here. So I'll log in into the application using the login method. I already have set the values of username and password. Now I need to log in. LP dot login. In the login, I need to provide the value of username and password. So how I will provide the value of username and password? Simply like how we can get those values that we have assigned. Let us say LP dot get username. This will return a string kind of username, right? And we can have LP dot get password. So we should be successfully logging inside the application. Let me execute it. The access should be on Flipkart test. Uh, let to wait to solution object Flipkart test. Yeah, if I'll execute this, let's see the output. There was some build error. Let's see what are the errors that we have expected. Yeah, so we forgot to concatenate this. If I'll execute this, then I'm successfully able to log in with admin@gmail.com and admin. Sorry, we are not getting password over here. Why? We have did some mistake. So, what the mistake we did? Get username. Instead of this, we should need to get password, right? First, we are setting our username, setting our password. Then simply we are getting. So, isn't it like that? The sign up process. In the sign up process, we will enter our details, and we will successfully sign up into a register into the website. Tomorrow, let us say you haven't forget password capability, just like you have forget our password. So you may have you can set some different password as well, just like you have set admin123 over here. Then tomorrow you can save admin789. Okay, and again if you will try to log in into the application, in the second time you will be able to log in with the latest password, right? If you let me if you have just like set a new password this time, and you are trying to log in into the application, okay, then with what would be your latest password? Admin123 or admin789? The latest one would be admin789. Let's execute it and see the output. Okay, login with admin gmail.com and admin789. So simply this is how the internal programming is being done, right? So these are very important topics that you need to like remember all these concepts. Okay. So simply just like you have created one object, login LP is equal to new login page. For an example, this is login for admin users. Let me create one more object. Okay, login page just like LP2. Yeah, new login page. This is my new object, and I can assign new value over here. Okay, I can set new value over here just like, for an example, if I need to get the values like this LP2, or we can say LP1. Let me say L, LP1. I have called this same print method over here, and this is now I can call get and set. So can you please tell me that what would be the output of this particular method? I have created a new method, or for new method I am trying to get the username and password. So will I get this same admin username and password, or will I get some different kind of values? Aswini, would you like to answer this? Aswini, can you hear me? Would you like to answer
Hello.
this? Like, yes, yes, I can hear you.
I I will get a username as same username that I have, but password will be different. That is a new password.
Please understand it again. This was my
Hmm.
login page method. I have
Hmm.
created a new method of the login page class.
New method.
New
Hmm.
object, new. This is my separate object. Okay,
Hmm.
this entire is my
Hmm.
separate object, and I have created a new object. Okay,
Hmm.
LP1. This is LP,
Hmm.
and this is my
Hmm.
LP1 dot get
Hmm.
username and dot LP1 dot get password. I'm trying to access this. Then what I'll get the
Hmm.
output.
Hmm.
So always remember, guys. Let's try to understand this. I have one object over here and one object over here, right? Let us say this is my the LP1 is accessing this object, and LP1 is accessing to this, and LP to this. Okay, right. So this method have some properties just like username and password. Although we cannot get those values, but yeah, this method have all these values. So we have used getters over here. We have used get. First we set the values, okay, and then we are getting the values, right? First, but in case of second object, we also have username and password. Every properties over here, username, password, but we are just getting the values for this. Have we set the values? Have we set any kind of values for second object? Yes or no? Just like,
No.
yeah, right. We haven't set any values. You just see over here we have set username for the first method for LP, right? For LP dot set, LP dot set password, set username. But here in case of LP1, we are directly getting the value LP1 dot get username, LP1 dot get password. We haven't set the values for LP1. All these values are being set for LP only, right? Aswini, did you get it? So we'll get the default values of strings, right? We will not get any kind of values over here because we haven't set the values yet. So every time, because users might be different. For an example, Ankit want to log into the Flipkart. So Ankit is a different object. Ashwini wants to log in inside the Flipkart. So Ashwini has different username and password. So every user will have a separate object. and separate values, just like Ashwini's credential would be different from the Ankit's credentials, right? So Ashwini need to set her username and password, and similarly, like Ankit need to set his username and password. Got it? Got it, or I need to explain it more?
Yes, I've got.
Okay. So if I,
I will today. I will try this on my screen because it is very strenuous from access from mobile.
yeah, okay, that's okay. You can refer to the downloaded video, and
Mm.
practice accordingly. That's okay. So yeah, so again, I just want to know your answer. If I'll execute this, then what will be my output? Here, we already have seen the output. We have logged in successfully with this username and password. Then what would be my output with this line?
It will be default value null.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Whatever the default values of, what is the default values? These the default values of, because we haven't set these values. We are simply calling the get password, but or like I say get username, but we haven't set any value to the username. So the default value of string would be returned. So first we need to set the values. Let me execute it. Okay, so you are getting nothing over here. You are getting null values, right? Because we haven't set any values. So how to set the values? Simply just like you have set the value lp dot set username. So for this object, this the object reference is lp1. lp1 dot, let us say, first set the username, okay, and then set some password lp1 dot set some password. Okay, so yeah, let us say username is string type of values I need to provide. Ankit dot Ankit at the rate Gmail. Let us say password Ankit. Okay, 135. Yeah, exclamatory 35. So now for this particular object I have set different values, and I'm able to get those values. Let's execute it and see the output. I should get the correct answer. The first user was the admin user was having this username and password combination. Now I'm trying to log in into the same Flipkart application with different combinations, right? So this is how the real-time application working. So see guys, these are some advanced concepts that I need to explain you, because like you should be confident, like in at the time of interview you should be explain everything of how what is encapsulation. Okay, then you can explain the diagram that we have discussed, like this is what the encapsulation is. Now how to access the private variables and method that you have defined into the another class. So if you need to access the private variables and methods, then you can simply use the getters and setters, or we can say the properties get and set properties. By using that we can access the private variables. So this is how you need to explain this entire concept, and this is very useful. We will also use so basically this is used to achieve that security. Okay, this is a security layer, we can say. Just like in the laptop we have an internal layer and one we have in public layer. Okay, so you can see this login class is a public layer, we can say. This Flipkart test, similarly we are sending our username, we are sending just setting our password, and in the response we are getting correct. And the things that we have defined inside login page, this is his internal working. Internally it's first is setting the username to this variable, to the private variable, and then by using return keyword we have get the username. Got it? So okay, I think this is enough for this class, and tomorrow we'll continue this topic. We'll look, we'll take some more example to understand this, and I'll also explain you. Like these are the getters and setters. So there is another method to write the syntax of getters and setters that is very simple. We can automatically generate that as well. That I shown you just in Visual Studio. So yeah, we'll discuss about the properties and the next session. Okay, thanks guys for joining. Do you have any questions so far? Or we can just close it.
No questions from my side.
Okay, thanks for joining. We'll see you tomorrow. Always just keep in mind we have two recordings for this session. Okay, I'll
Yeah.
upload. Yeah, okay. Thank
Okay.
you. Have
Thanks.
a good day.